Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. For the first time in the history of the club, Newcastle United today host the international fan event. I'm currently sitting in my hotel room now in Saudi Arabia. I touched down last night at midnight. I will be posting the overnight stay vlog on the channel later. This is a double upload. I could go home now, by the way, and I'll be happy because that fan event today was amazing. I can't stress how good it was. So I'm here today to show and to tell you about the event. If you are new to the channel, finally, make sure you get down and hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty of videos planned over here in Saudi Arabia, so make sure you don't miss out on them. But yeah, that's about it. Without further ado, let's talk about the event now. So the way the event worked today was essentially just over 100 Newcastle fans from across the globe. Of course, we got people from the UK, Saudi Arabia, quite a few Kuwait, Newcastle fans as well, Qatar. So all these fans come in, and the club is actively going out and asking fans on how to improve the club. So we went there today, we listened to all sorts of different people. We listened to the owners, Darren Eales, Eddie Howe, and a few of the Newcastle players just talk about their stories. And we, as fans, pretty much tell the club how to improve and just enjoy an experience. So in terms of recording, by the way, I wasn't allowed to record anything inside the event, but I was outside the event, so just take that in mind. All the videos I say are all outside the event. Newcastle United themselves have recorded the event though, so at some point in the future you can see it for yourself. But we'll get into all the details about that shortly. I want to tell you about a personal story that happened to me today because, well, I mean, it's a good story. So at this stage, I'm currently standing behind the players' table. I've waited until everyone's went past, got their autographs signed, the pictures taken. I've swooped in at the end so I can get a big group photo, my arms wrapped around Eddie Howe and his players. So at this point, I got my back turned. So I'm currently talking to Jamal Lascelles, then all of a sudden, Lee Marshall, the head of the media team, taps me on the shoulder. And then I face him, and he's got a phone pointing at me, and I'm thinking in my head, like, what's he doing? Then all of a sudden, on my left-hand side, Sean Longstaff suddenly gets next to me, and at this point, it should be obvious what's going on, but I'm confused. My mind's flustered. I would love to see that picture, Barry, because I'm telling you now, I'll just look completely out of it. And then I'll click on afterwards, because Lee passes Longstaff his phone back, and I'm thinking, hang on, Sean Longstaff should took a picture with me on his phone. And I just realised at that point, I went, oh my God, Newcastle players actually got his photo taken with me. I mean, on a personal level for me, I got no words to describe that. Really does hit hard. It's one of them ones where I look back at that in many years to come and I just think like that really happened. It hits me a lot. Obviously I've interacted with players before. I've done bits, for example, I've done bits with Alan St-Max before, so I have interacted with players before. And I mean, I had a feeling the likes of Longstaff probably don't know because they're all from Newcastle, but still though, just seeing them first time, it was just mad. It was such a good feeling. So thank you, Longstaff. It means a lot. And he wasn't the only player as well I recognised. Yeah, Jamal Lascelles knew me as well, so he was to talk to me saying, Adam, you get around a lot, and I was just obviously having a chat with him about that. Darren Eales as well, he also recognised me. He actually, he's seen an Evening Chronicle article that was on, so that one would have been about the Newcastle YouTube channel, so it's great to see the chief executive of the club actually read through articles about the fan channels. So again, it was that was the first time Matt Down, he knew me straight away. So again, it was just amazing seeing so many staff members in the club just recognise me, and almost like acknowledge me. It was just it was an incredible feeling, and it really does hit home. So yeah, massive thanks to Sean, massive thanks to the club for inviting me down. It was a massive privilege to be there for the first ever international fan event. I definitely won't forget that one. This was also a really nice touch from the club as well. So every single fan that went there today got a signed player card of all of the individuals out there. So you get your pictures taken with Eddie Howe and the players afterwards, and they literally just give you the card straight up. So that was class. For me as well, I got a couple of the programmes signed. He had a few programmes you could get for free there, so I got those signed as well. But I really like that from the club. I hope they do these more often, or even just sell the blank cards online, because I honestly would just buy these and collect them. So I think that's another thing as well, just for the club, just to sell them online without the autographs, and I think people actually would buy them. So the event kicks off by Amanda Staveley being on the stage. She's got Jimmy Rubin on one side, Darren Eales on the other side. So she's kicking off the event by saying hello to the fans, just greeting everyone, thanking everyone for turning up, and she is just talking about how happy she is with the club. It's took her 5 years to buy the club. She talked about how it's been just stressful for her. She's eventually got the club bought. South and Jamie, those two are just there to greet fans, really. They haven't got any presence really on the stage, they're just there to greet the fans, which I like a lot. The fact that those two turned up, it shows the importance of the event. It gets into fans' heads that this is a big deal and this event means a lot to them. So that was great. Unfortunately, those two and Darren Eales, despite the fact that the event, even halfway into it, they still got to do off and get stuff done. That's how busy these people are, it's crazy. So as for the event though, Darren Eales was the first person doing the Q&A on the stage. So he was talking about how the club's training ground, for example, how even though the training ground now is not up to scratch, he's still got the club working on the training ground. They're going to buy a bigger one in the future. So I like that one. He was really insightful with the club as well. So he was outright saying that Newcastle, once resources are bought, there still has to be more resources brought into the squad. But he was saying that the club is expecting to be hitting top 6 every single season and playing European football. So to maintain that stature every single season, of being a top 6 level club, that's where the club wants to be. So hearing that first hand by the chief executive from the club was huge. Really does give you the goosebumps. So once Darren Eales is done, Shola Amiobi was next up on the stage. Of course, Newcastle legend to a lot of fans. He was on there talking about his favourite goals and just talking about his career to fans. As well as that, he was talking about a bit of experience at Eddie Anderson, saying how loan move was so big for him. He's had a bit of sort of behind the scenes stuff going on. So again, really insightful stuff. It's great to see Shola on there and in the flesh. After that, Eddie Howe turned up with one of his coaching staff. So I think it was called Simon. He turned up with just one of his coaches. I really liked that. That was probably the highlight for me personally. He's had another coach have almost like some of the spotlight. Somebody else gets to speak with Eddie Howe as well. It reminds you that Eddie Howe, it's not just about him. He has all the coaches behind him. He's only one person in a cog that's spinning around. He's got all those people behind him that do all the work as well. And they showed some acknowledgement to another staff member. I thought it was great. And it was yeah, that one kind of hits the back of your mind. He's given another coach a chance to speak to fans. I love that by him. So after those two were done, we had Jamal Lascelles coming with Sean Longstaff and Jacob Murphy. So fans were able to ask them questions. Of course, Longstaff and Murphy both being Newcastle fans, and Lascelles being at the club for 9 years. So all those had plenty to talk about the club. And for all the fans there, it was just an opportunity to see everything firsthand. And it was just, it's as good as it gets for the club, really. I mean, I don't know how else you could get as much out of the club as he did from that event. Like, it's the best I think fans could probably possibly get from the club. So it was really good. And the point of the event was for fans to actually almost complain about the club and to ask the club to improve things. We were asked from the club to put suggestions in and things they should improve. So I guess my personal suggestions would be, I think there should be more fan events. So I think, for example, maybe a training session in the summertime at St James's Park, maybe once a season, try and get something like that on. I think it needs to be more fan engagement events on. I remember earlier in the season, they didn't want the Castore show where they can meet some of the players. Just more stuff like that, just to remind fans that the club loves you, we want you in here. I think you can do that a couple of times this season. I think those sort of things would be possible. But yeah, we're getting to the outro now and wrap up this video. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching the video today. An amazing fan experience, trust me. One thing I'm expecting the club to do, I'm hoping at some point they do this in Newcastle as well. I think at least once a season, having a fan event in Newcastle and have the international ones as well. So every fan across the world has the chance to see the players firsthand and just hear stories from the club and hear where the club wants to go. I think it needs to be at least once a season in Newcastle. That's my personal opinion. And if I'm going to be biased as well, I'm hoping at some point they'll try and get content creators involved with the first team in any capacity. That'd be great. We've had one opportunity to go behind the scenes at the Carabao Cup, but that was still, obviously, we still weren't interacting with the players then. That was just a chance to see how the club operates. But yeah, improvements for today. I think the timings, to be honest, I'm not going to be critical. I think maybe at times, for example, fans had the opportunity to actually ask the players or Eddie Howe questions, but it was quite limited. They didn't have much time to do that. So I think the club overall in the future might want to try and fix the times out a little bit, make sure everyone has a fair chance, everyone has hopefully just a better experience. But trust me, that was good. That was very good today. I'm not complaining at all, but I'm just obviously trying to put some bullet points in for next time. But anyway, guys, I'll be back with a second upload tonight for the overnight stay vlog. Let me know your thoughts down below. As I said in the intro, Newcastle United will post this video at some point so you can see it yourself. I'm going to show you some bits and tell you about the rest. So Apologies I couldn't show you more, but hopefully in the future that may be different. Thank you for watching. What an amazing day that was, and I'll see you all in the next one.